And third, the principal of the school of choice is the one who decides how to spend the money. That's critical. You can see school choice that somehow gets around that. And I've seen some situations where on the surface it looks like school choice, but they take the decision making away from the principal. So if we look at things, we've got 5 levels of school choice. Level 0 is where we don't have any choice. That's where you buy your home, and then your child is assigned to a school, and you're not allowed to transfer your child to another school. I live in a high school district like that. The attendance boundaries are the attendance boundaries. That's it. And so if you find your child doesn't like the school, is not doing well, you have a choice. You can buy a home somewhere else, you can pay for a private school, or you can pay tuition at another public school. Or you can homeschool. The next level up from that is where within the district the parents choose the schools. Now in large districts, that's already what is happening. In New York public schools, even in the Chicago public schools, there's a great deal of choice. The problem is there are too few good schools and too many failing schools. If you look at the application rates on the selective enrollment high schools in Chicago, you see that there are 200 places and there are 2,000 or 3,000 applications. It's ridiculous. Why don't they create more good high schools? The next level is where the choice expands beyond the boundaries of the district. This is called open enrollment. This is what they have in Minnesota. So in Minnesota, you can send your child to any school. The money flows to the school where your child goes to. So if you live in the Minneapolis school district, you can choose among the Minneapolis schools. If you find that there's a school in Rochester that you want to drive your child to every day, you can do that. You provide the transportation. But essentially, there's a way of taking the money and having it flow to another district. The next level is charter schools, which are an unusual, they're on the boundary between private and public schools. They're public schools which are privately owned and operated, but they are funded with public taxpayer dollars. They're schools of choice. So every child at a charter school is there by choice, and they're funded depending on the number of children that go to that school. They lose a child, they lose so many dollars. They gain a child, they gain dollars. The next level is where we have a choice not only of charter schools but of private secular schools. That's the kind of situation that you have in Maine and Vermont with their tuitioning program, which has been in place for over 100 years. So you're allowed to choose to send your child to a public school or to a secular private school, not to a religious school. And finally, you would include religious schools as they do in the Cleveland voucher program and in the Milwaukee voucher program. If you look at the 2002 U.S. Supreme Court decision in the Cleveland voucher case, they said that school choice programs may be extended to religious schools so long as parents and not government officials choose the school. In that way, the funding can flow to religious schools but not run afoul of the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment to the Constitution. But with this Supreme Court ruling, there's really no reason why legislators shouldn't consider extending school choice in its broadest form to all schools so that parents can choose among the schools without any financial penalty. And the idea there is that you're devolving the authority to the parents in the school district, which means that the power and the money goes to the parents and then to the principal, who can then control what happens in the school to continue to attract students from the parents who are looking for certain things from that school. High academic standards, high graduation rates, college readiness, or a skill that they can use out if they want to pursue their vocation, and so on. So to recap, I've addressed the question of how much we already spend or need to spend. I've addressed how we should encourage tax credits as rescue operations to get children out of persistently failing schools. I've spoken about solutions to school performance problems that haven't worked in the past and are not likely to work in the future. I've suggested what is needed is to put principals in control of the schools, and I've suggested that the way to do that and to establish a self-sustaining incentive for improving quality and productivity in our public schools is to expand school choice in Illinois. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate it.
You're watching the Illinois Channel, an independent nonprofit corporation formed to provide gavel-to-gavel coverage of Illinois state government and other public affairs events taking place across Illinois. If you have any comments or questions on our programming, please email us at illinoischannel@aol.com. Or if you have any questions about the Illinois Channel, please visit our website at www.illinoischannel.org.